In this video, we are going to be discussing ratio rates and proportion, how values are being shared in ratios and proportion. Now, there are a series of problems on the board. We have the first 6, of which after dealing with these 6, we are going to deal with some more examples to help you understand how ratio rates and proportion problems are being tackled. Now, the first question here says, if A ratio B is 1/4 ratio 3/8 and B ratio C is 1/3 ratio 4/9, then A ratio C is what? Now, I know looking at this problem, most persons will want to assume A to be 1/4, B is 3/8, and B as 1/3 here, C is 4/9. It doesn't really make any sense, simply because the values of B here will be different. Okay, so we have to simplify both sides before we can now manipulate the whole equation or expression to get A ratio C. Okay, so I'm going to start on this point with a solution. Now, A ratio B equals 1/4 ratio 3/8. So I'm going to start with A ratio B equals 1/4 ratio 3/8. Now let's simplify this. This is same as A over B is equal to 1/4 divided by 3/8. Now A over B is equal to 1/4 times, remember, turning division into multiplication, we have to switch the right hand side, so that will give us 8/3. Now 4 here is 1, 4 here is 2. That will give you 2/3, which means A over B is equal to 2/3. We are going to save this equation in our mind. Now come over here, B ratio C is 1/3. Okay, B ratio C is 1/3 ratio 4/9. Now simplifying this one as well, we get B over C is equal to 1/3 times 9/4. Okay, I just skipped the division part, so you have to turn it times 9/4. Okay, so we have B over C is equal to 3/4, simply because 3 here is 1, 3 here is what now? 3, which means B over C is equal to 3/4. Okay, now we now have two equations. We're asked to find A ratio C, which is same as A over C. Okay, we're asked to find A ratio C, which is same as A over C. So we're having A over B here, and we're having B over C, but we're asked to find A ratio C. Okay, A ratio C, which is same as A over C. How then are we going to get A ratio C? Now we can choose to multiply both the top and bottom by B, right? If we multiply both the top and bottom by B, we can now have A over B. Okay, this same as A over B times what we're having here is what now? B over C. But we solved for A over B already. A over B is what now? 2/3. So that is what now? 2/3 times what is B over C? B over C is 3/4. So we have 3/4. Now 3 here is 1, 3 here is 1. 2 here is 1, 2 here is 2. Okay, so A ratio C is equal to 1/2, which means A ratio C equals 1/2. So the correct answer to this first question, the correct answer to the question is 1/2. Okay, now that was the first question. The next question on our list is, a number of sweets were shared among 3 children, X, Y, and Z, in the ratio 2, 3, 4 respectively. If Z got 8, how many sweets were shared out? Now here is how we solve a problem like this. Okay, here is how we solve a problem like this. Question 2. Let's say we're having ratios of X, Y, and Z. Okay, I won't be writing this again for encounter any similar problem, so you might want to take record of this, okay, or note it down. Now if you're given ratio of X, Y, and Z, okay, of maybe ages or money or anything, and then it talks about something that is being shared, okay, if you're asked to find X share, or let me just write it directly, X share, if you're asked to find the share of X, it is what now? The ratio of X divided by the sum of all the ratios times what is being shared. Okay, let's say, what are we going to use in identifying what is being shared? Let's say let's just write it in full, times the item being shared. Okay, that's what we're going to get. So the value of X is what now? X divided by what now? The sum times the item that is being shared. Now for Y, or for Y share, is going to be Y, okay, divided by X plus Y plus Z times the item they are sharing, item that is being shared. Okay, same thing goes for Z. So for Z's share, it is Z divided by X plus Y plus Z, okay, times the item that is being shared. Okay, that's the trick. I'm going to take this off so that we can have space to solve this question. Okay, now the question wants us to find how many sweets were shared, and we're given the value of z. Since we're given the value of z's share, it means we're going to make use of z. Okay, so we're going to come and say z's share is equal to z's share is equal to the ratio of z divided by the ratio of x plus y plus z times what is being shared. Okay, item shared. Okay, now z share was given as 8, so we're going to have 8 is equal to, according to the ratio, we're given 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is 2 ratio 3 ratio 4, which means the value of z is what now? 4. That will be 4 divided by sum of the ratios. We have 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, times what is being shared. Let's call what is being shared. Let's say I. Okay, I for item. Okay, so from here we're going to have 8 is equal to 4 times I is 4I divided by 2 plus 3, that's 5, plus 4, that's 9. So from here we can make I the subject. That will be equal to 8 times 9 divided by 4. Now when you do the math here, you should get 18. Okay, so the amount that is being shared, or the number of sweets that is being shared, is 18. So for number 2, the answer is 18. Okay, that's for number 2. Very, very easy. Now, question 3 says, if A ratio B is 3 ratio 4 and M ratio N is 2 ratio 5, find the value of A over M ratio B over N. Okay, question 3, you want us to find A over M ratio B over N. Let's first of all simplify. A over M ratio B over N. This is same as A over M times N over B, right? So this is what we're looking for. Now let's get over M and then multiply N over B, okay? But A over B was given, okay? We're given A ratio B as 3 ratio 4, okay? A ratio B was given as 3 ratio 4 and M ratio N was given as 2 ratio 5, comma, M ratio N was 2 ratio 5. Now for this simply means A over B is 3 over 4, okay? And this simply means M over N is 2 ratio 5, or rather 2 over 5. 2 over 5. Now let's see how we can multiply. This denominator can come here and this one will come here, right? If they exchange, we are going to get A over B times N over M, right? Now we already have A over B as 3 over 4. So we're going to get 3 over 4 times, but we don't have N over M. It is M over N we have here, which means N over M will be the opposite. That is 5 over 2 instead of 2 over 5. So that will be times 5 over 2. Okay, now 3 times 5 gives you 15, divided by 4 times 2 gives you what now? 8. So the correct answer is 15 over 8. So if this guy is this guy, find the ratio of A over M. So the answer is 15 over 8. That is how it is being done. Okay, now the next question on the list, which is question 4, says a bag contains white, blue, and red ping pong balls in the ratio of 8 ratio 3 ratio 2. There are 10 red balls. Okay, if 10 white and 10 blue balls are removed from the bag, the new ratio is, okay. Now the question wants us to find the new ratio when these balls are being removed. Well, first things first, number 4, the initial ratio was given as 8 ratio 3 ratio 2. 8 ratio 3 ratio 2, and that's what we're going to work with first. Okay, now before we can get the new ratio, we have to know the new number of balls. Okay, and to get the new number of balls, we need to know the initial total number of balls, which was not given. But then they told us that there are 10 red balls. Okay, 10 red balls. So remember the ratio formula I gave initially. Okay, so for red ball, it is equal to for red ball, it is equal to the ratio of red, which is R, divided by the total ratio, which is 8 plus 3 plus 2 in this case, times the total number of balls. I'm going to call the total number of balls T. Now, red ball was given in the question. There are 10 red balls. It means 10 times what was the ratio given by red? Okay, since they said white, blue, and red, it means this is white, blue, and red. So red is for 2. Okay, so we have 10 is equal to 2 divided by 8 plus 3 plus 2 times t. Okay, so from here we're going to get 10 is equal to 2 divided by 8 plus 2, that's 10 plus 3, that will give you 13. 13 times t. So what will be the total number of balls? The total number of balls will be equal to 5 times 13, that should give you 65. Okay, 65. When you do the math, 13 times 10, that's 130. 130 divided by 2, that should give you 65. So the total number of balls is what now? Equal to 65. Okay, now if the total number of balls is 65, it means if we remove the red number of balls or the red balls, which are 10, we're going to be left with 55 balls, and that means we have some number of white balls in that 55, and the others will be what now? Blue. But then how then are we going to solve for it? Okay, so let's solve for the number of red balls. Okay, the number of red balls was already given as 10. What will be the number of white balls? Let's start with 8. So the number of white balls will be equal to the number of white ball will be equal to white divided by 8 plus 3 plus 2 times the total. Okay, so what will be the number of white balls? Number of white balls will be equal to, white comes first as the ratio. So we have 8 divided by 8 plus 3 plus 2 times, we already found the total number of balls, which is 65. So we get what now? 65. So when you do the maths here, okay, when you do the maths, you're going to get 8 divided by 8 plus 3 plus 2 times 65. Now that's going to give you 40, which means there are 14 white balls in the bag. Okay, and then let's get the one for this one, which is 3. Now instead of doing the same ratio, here's a simple trick. We have 10 balls for red. We just solve for white, which is 40, which means that's a total of 50, and the total balls given was 65, which means 65 minus 50 is the total number of what now? Blue balls. So blue ball, for the number of blue balls, okay, it's simply what now? 65 minus 40 plus 10. That will give you 50. 65 minus 50, that should be 15, right? So you have 15 blue balls. Another way of finding out is to use the ratio. We have 3 divided by 8 plus 3. Oh, okay, let's just do this. We have 3 divided by 8 plus 3 plus 2 times the total number of balls, which is 65. Okay, we're still going to get the same thing, which is what now? 15 balls. Now the question now asks, if 10 white balls and 10 blue balls are being removed. So from the white, we are going to remove 10. So when we remove 10 from here, you are going to be left with 30 balls. Okay, and then from the blue balls, when you remove 10 from here, you are going to be left with 5 balls. What is now the new ratio? Remember, the ratio is what now? White ratio, blue ratio, red. So for white, we are going to be left with 30 balls. This is for white ratio. For blue balls, we are going to be left with 5. This is for blue. And then the red balls were not 10 balls. We still have 10 red balls. Okay, so for the red, we are still having 10. Let's now reduce this. Reducing this, you get 6 ratio 5 into 30 is 6. 5 into 5 is 1. Ratio 5 into 10 is what now? 2. Okay, so the new ratio becomes 6 ratio 1 ratio 2. Okay, and changes from what now? 8 to from 831 down to what now? 6 ratio 1 ratio 2. That is how a problem like this is being solved. The next question on our list is, a sum of 50,000 naira was invested by 2 partners in a project which yielded 90,000 naira. Okay, if the profits was shared in the ratio of 3:5, the difference between the amounts received by the partners is, it is a very, very easy question. Let's solve. Okay, now the question says, a sum of, okay, I already read the question, so let's just go straight to solving it. But for simplicity's sake, I think I want to read it. A sum of 50,000 naira was invested by 2 partners in a project. Now let's call those partners A and B. Okay, so we have partner A and then we have partner B. Okay, this was the money they invested, and it yielded 90,000 naira. Wow, what's a good business. If the profit was shared, now they said the profit was shared, not the money they invested, neither the total amount. Okay, the profits. Now the profit is simply what now? 90,000 minus what now? 50,000 naira. So profits is equal to 90,000 naira minus 50,000 naira. That will give you a profit of 40,000 naira. Okay, so the profit, which was 40,000 naira, is what is being shared. Okay, in the ratio of 3:5. So we have 3 ratio what now? 5. Are you there? Now, the difference between the amounts received by the partners is, what will be the difference in the amount? First things first, we have to calculate the difference in the amount. Now, for A, remember that A's share will be equal to A divided by the sum of the ratio times the profit that is being shared. Okay, let's call it P. So this will be equal to A's ratio is what? 3 divided by 3 plus 5 times the profit is 40,000 naira. Now when you do the math, what then are you going to get? This 3 divided by 8. Okay, so that will be 8 into 40. That should give you 50. Okay, 50,000 naira, or rather 5,000 naira. So 5,000 naira times 3,000 naira, that's 15,000 naira. 15,000 naira, which means A share is what now? 15,000 naira. Okay, that's the value of A's share. Now, instead of solving for B's share and doing this long process, just subtract 40. Just subtract 15,000 naira from 40. So B's share automatically, B's share will be equal to 40,000 naira minus 15. So we have 40,000 naira minus 15,000 naira. So when you subtract 40,000 naira from 15, what do you get? 15,000 naira from 40 rather. That's 30 and then 5. That will be 25. So you have 25,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that should be 25,000 naira. So an easy way of solving this problem is to find the share of one and then subtract it from the other one. Okay, it is that easy. And that's problem 5. Now problem 6, which is also easy, says two brothers X and Y owned a business of which the ratio of shares 3:2 respectively. Okay, now Y later sold 1/2 of his, I wonder why. Y later sold 1/2 of his share to X for 2,000 naira. The value of the business was, now here's how we're going to solve a problem like this. Two brothers X and Y owned a business in which the ratio of the shares was 3:2. So X and Y 3:2 respectively. Okay, now another thing to take note about ratios is that the one with the bigger ratio usually gets more of what is being shared. Here is an example, the one I just solved. Okay, it was shared in 3:5. Okay, that means B was 5 and A was 3. Notice that A got what now? 15,000, and B that was 5 got 25,000 naira. So the bigger a ratio, the bigger what you get. Okay, so X and Y, which are brothers, share a business in the ratio of 3:2 respectively. And then Y later sold his share. Okay, now to get Y's share, okay, Y's share, it is equal to Y divided by X plus Y times the total what now? Net worth of the business. Okay, that is being shared. That's why I call it B. Okay, we don't know Y share, but we do know that it's Y over X plus 1. Now, Y here is the ratio, which is 2, divided by 3 plus 2 times B. B is unknown, right? So we can simplify this. B times 2, that's 2B divided by 2 plus 3, that's 5. Okay, that's Y share. Okay, and they also said something that Y later showed 1/2 of his share for 12,000 naira. Okay, which means Y's value was 12,000 naira. So 1/2 of Y's share, it was sold for 12,000 naira. Okay, no, so from here we can put in Y's share. Okay, this is Y's share. We can put in Y's share in here. Remember, this is also Y's share. Y's share was 2B over 5. So we can put it in here. I'm going to get 1/2 times 2B over 5 is equal to 12,000 naira. When you do the maths, okay, 2 cancels 2. So B is equal to 5 times 12. That's what now? 60,000 naira. So the total worth of the business is what now? 60,000 naira. That is how problems like this are being solved. To get a good understanding of this, you might want to always solve multiple problems on it. The more you solve problems, the more you get to it. Now, we're going to be solving some other more problems, okay, outside the 6, maybe an additional few, like 4 or 5 questions, and then here we go. All right, so here are the next set of problems. The first one says a sum of 420 naira is shared among 3 children in the ratio of 6, 7, 8. The largest share is, now I said something initially, okay, while we're solving the other set of questions, that whenever you are given the ratios, the one with the highest number is usually the one that takes the highest share. Okay, so if you have to find the largest share, it simply means you have to find the child that has a ratio of what now? 8. And to find the largest share, okay, to find the largest share, it will be equal to 8 divided by 6 plus 7 plus 8 times what was being shared, 420 naira. So your answer then becomes, we'll do that on our calculator directly. We are going to get 8 divided by 6 plus 7 plus 8 times 420. That's 160. So the largest share is 160. Okay, that was quite easy. The largest share is 160. If you have to find the least share or the smallest share, that's what now, when 8 is replaced with 6. Okay, now the next question says the ratio of the age of a father to that of his son is 9:2. If the son is now 8 years old, the ratio of their ages in 4 years time will be, okay, now to solve this problem, it's quite easy. I'm going to take off this top part so we can make use of this space. Now here is the initial ratio of their ages. We have 9:2. And why the initial age of their ages was 9:2, it says that the son's age is 8 years. Okay, so the son's age is 8 years. Okay, but the father's age is unknown. But we can still find the son's age, right? Now, here's what we're going to do. Since they're having ratio, okay, let us find their total age. Okay, we notice that to get the son's age, it will be equal to the ratio. Remember, this is father to son. Okay, this will be what? The ratio for the son, okay, divided by the total 1 plus 2 times what is their total age. Okay, and 8 was given as what? S was given as 8. So we're going to get this was a mistake. This should be 9. Okay, total ratio is 9. 9 plus 2. Okay, and the age of the son is 8 years. So we are going to write S as what now? 8. So we can now solve for the total age. In this case, we are going to have 8 is equal to 2t divided by 11. Okay, so total age is equal to, that's 88 divided by 2, that's 44. So the total age of the father and son at this particular time, while the ratio was 9 and 2, was what now? 44. So if the son's age is 44, what will be the father's age? So father's age is equal to total age minus son's age. Father's age is 44 minus 8. So father's age should equal that's 36. Okay, so at that point the father's age was 36 and the son's age was what now? 8. Now they said if the son is now blah blah blah, the ratio of their ages in 4 years time. Now in 4 years time, they've all increased in their age by 4 years. So in 4 years, the father's age becomes 36 plus 4, which is 40. Okay, the son's age will be 8 plus 4, which is 12. So now what will be the new ratio? So the new ratio will be father ratio son, and that is 40:12. We can break this down. 2 here is 20:6. Break it down again. We have 10:3. Okay, so that is the answer. So in that year's time, the father's age, or rather the ratio of the father's age to the son's age, will be 10:3 after 4 years. It's quite easy. Now another way of solving this is to increase, or rather write this ratio in such a way that these two which represent the son's ratio is going to be 8. So if I multiply both sides by 4, I'll get 36:8. Okay, that's the same thing as the initial age, then increase it by 4. Okay, and then solve. It's quite easy. Okay, but if you don't understand that, just follow the normal method. Now the next question says the profits on a business was shared between two partners P and Q in the ratio 3:4. Okay, now if Q received 8,000 naira more than P, okay, the profit was, to solve this one is also quite easy. All you have to do is follow the steps. Okay, now here is the question, but it said the profit of the business was shared between two partners P and Q is the ratio of what? 3:4. So 3:4 represents P and Q. Okay, that's what it represents. If Q receives 8,000 more than P, okay, now for Q to receive 8,000 more than P, it simply means that Q had a higher value than P. Okay, but first things first, let's say Q received 8,000 more than P, which means Q's share will be equal to the ratio, that's 4 ratio, the sum of the ratio, 3 plus 4, times what they shared. We don't know what they share, let's call it x. So from here, Q's share, okay, Q's share is equal to 4x over 7. Now, if Q's share is 4x over 7, simply means that what will be the value of P's share? Okay, that means P's share will be equal to x minus this, right? Because if this one is for Q and this is what they share, it means when you remove this one from x, you are going to get that of what now? P. So that will be x minus 4x over 7, right? And that will be equal to 3x over 7. So P share is 3x over 7, and Q share is 4x over 7. Now they said if Q received 8,000 more than P, okay, which means Q's share is equal to P's share plus 8,000 naira. That's what it means. Okay, so in the long run, we are going to replace Q with 4x over 7. Okay, 4x over 7 equals 3x over 7. Okay, plus 8,000. Okay, now when we do the math, we're going to get 4x over 7. Taking this on to the other side, you get minus 3x over 7. Yeah, and that is equal to 8,000. Okay, now when you do the math, you get x over 7 equals 8,000 is 8,000. Okay, x over 7 equals 8,000. Okay, and when you do the math, okay, cross multiply, so x will be equal to 8,000 times times 7. That will give you 56,000 naira. So what was being shared between the business owners P and Q was what now? A sum of 56,000 naira. Okay, that's it. Now number 10 says the numbers A, B, and C are in the ratio of 3:2:5. Find this. Now this one is a quite straightforward question. A ratio B ratio C is 3:2:5. Okay, this is number 10. A ratio B ratio C is 3:2:5. Okay, we're asked to find this value. It simply means that A is 3, B is 2, and C is 5. That's what it means. Let's substitute into this place. So I'm going to get 4A minus C divided by A plus 2B will equal 4 into bracket. What is A? We have 3 minus what is C? We have 5 divided by A is what? 3 plus 2 times B is what? 2. Okay, so this is going to give you 12 minus 5 divided by 3 plus 4. And when we do the math, we're going to get 7 divided by 7, which is equal to 1. So what we're asked to find has a value of what now? 1. Okay, very, very easy. Now, the next question on the board says, a rectangle is formed from a square by increasing the latter's length by 50%, okay, while reducing its width by 50%. The ratio of the area of the rectangle to that of the square is, now you notice that initially we're having a rectangle, okay, that is being formed, but rather initially we're having a square, and then they created the rectangle for me. What did they do? They changed the sides, okay, by increasing one and decreasing the other side. It simply means one will be longer than the other, automatically becomes a rectangle, and we're asked to find the ratio of the new areas that is being formed. Now, first things first, the area of a square is given as length times length, which is L squared. Okay, now one side of the square is increased by 50%. Okay, so the new length, or rather let's say one side, which is L1, is increased by 50%, and that is equal to the initial length plus 50% of the initial length. Okay, so this becomes the new length. So this will be equal to L plus 50% of L is 0.5 L, right? So you have 0.5 L, which reduces to 1.5 L. Okay, that's for the side that has been increased. Okay, now the width is being reduced by 50%. Okay, so the width, which we are going to call L2, is being reduced by 50%. So that's L minus 50% of the initial length. Okay, and that's going to equal L minus 50%, which is L minus 0.5 L, is equal to, that will give you 0.5 L. Okay, so now what will be the new area of the rectangle? So the area of the rectangle will be equal to L1 times L2 Okay, now L1 is 1.5 L, so you have 1.5 L times L2 is 0.5 L. Okay, and that will be equal to, now 1.5 times 0.5, that will give you 0. That should give you 0.75 L squared. L times L is L squared. Okay, now they asked us to find the ratio of the area of rectangle to that of square. This is the ratio of the area of the rectangle. Okay, so the ratio is equal to 0.75 L squared divided by, what's the initial ratio? What's the initial area? L squared, right? So L squared. L squared cancel L squared. So this is equal to 0.75 ratio 1, right? Because we're simply having 1 in the denominator. Now 0.75 in fraction is 3 over 4. Okay, so that's 3 over 4 ratio 1. Okay, or multiplying both sides by 4, we're going to get 3 ratio 4. So that is the correct answer. Okay, so the ratio of the area here is 3 ratio what now? 4. Now the next question on our list is 2 men, 6 boys can cut a field in 3 hours. This is quite an important question. Okay, and we're still going to solve it. Okay, now here's the question. The question says 2 men and 6 boys can cut a field in 3 hours. Okay, so we're going to come here and write 2 men. Okay, M, capital letter M is going to represent the number of men, and B is going to represent the number of boys. Okay, so we have 2 men and 6 boys. So we have 2 men and 6 boys. Okay, can cut a field in 3 hours. Now they can cut a field in 3 hours. So I'm not just going to come here and write 3 hours. Here's the reason. The rate at which, or rather the number of persons doing the work, is always inversely proportional to the time, in the sense that if I have 2 persons clear a land in 1 day, it means when I have 3 persons, it will be less. If I have 10 persons, it will be less. Okay, as the number of persons are increasing, the time taken to do the work is what now reducing, which means if I have this number of persons, it will be inversely proportional to the time given. Okay, and for inversely proportional, that it becomes what now? 1 over 3. So 2 men and 6 boys will cut a field in 3 hours. Okay, and here's the equation that we're going to use to represent it. Okay, in terms of variation. Now the next part of the problem says if the men work at 3 over 2 times that of the boys. Okay, so the rate at which the men work, which is the number of men per time, okay, that is the rate, is equal to 3 over 2 times the rate at which the boys work, okay, per time. Now T cancels T, which means we are left with M is equal to 3 over 2B. Or we can write, we can make B the subject here, or let's do that one alone. Or if we make B the subject, we're going to get 2M over 3. Now the reason why I'm making B the subject is simply because we want to solve for number of men. Okay, so this one should be substituted into the equation. Okay, leave that aside. Now the next part of the problem again says how many men are required to cut the field in 2 hours. Okay, how many men are required to cut the field in 2 hours? So we know that unknown number of persons, okay, let's say K, they are going to cut the field in 1 over 2. Remember, it is what now? Always inversely proportional. Okay, from here we can do the maths, because multiply K times 1 over 3, you get K over 3 equals 1 over 2 times everything here, so you get 2M plus 6B. Now the reason why I made B the subject formula is because we want our answer to be in the form of men, because they asked how many men. Assuming they asked how many boys, we would have make what now? M the subject formula in this case, okay, and then substitute, so that we'll have boys in our final answer. But since we asked how many men, we're making B the subject to substitute. And if we substitute, we get K is equal to, now 3 can come here, 3 times 1, that's 3 over 2 in brackets. We have 2 men plus 6 times, what is B? B is 2M over 3. Okay, so we have 2M divided by 3. 3 here is 1, 3 here is 2. So I'm left with K is equal to 3 over 2 in brackets 2M plus 2 times 2, that will give you 4. So we have 4M. Okay, so from here, K is equal to 3 over 2 times 2M plus 4M, that will give you 6M. And 2 here is 1, 2 here is 3. So K is equal to 3 times 3, that's what now? 3M. So automatically, 9 rather, that will give you 9M. So automatically, we are going to require 9 men to cut the field in 2 hours. That is how problems like this are being solved. What I want you to take note of, basically, is the inverse relationship between these guys. Okay, Take note of the inverse relationship. Now, when there are a number of persons doing a work, okay, it is always inversely proportional to the time. Since as the number of persons are increasing, the time tends to what now? Decrease. So take note of that. Now, the next question on our list again says, if 45% of Nigerian naira is equal to 35% of foreign naira, foreign currency, which is the dollar, okay, the conversion rate of dollar to naira is what? Okay, this one is quite easy. I'm just going to do a simple variation. It says if 45% of the Nigerian naira is equivalent to 35% of the dollar, okay, which means we are to solve for the conversion rate, which means $1 should be equivalent to what in naira. So we're going to cross multiply x times 35. That will give you 35x, okay, which will equal 45 times 1. That will give you what now? 45, which means x is equal to 45 divided by 35. Now, can we do this? 5 can go into 45. That will give you 9. 5 into 35, that's 7. Okay, you can as well put this in fraction. So 9 divided by 7. 9 divided by 7 is going to give you a fractional answer of 1.286. Okay, so the conversion rate is $1 is equal to 1.286 naira. That is the conversion rate, and that is how a problem like this is being tackled. Okay, now the last question on our list, question 14, says a motorist drives from P to Q at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, so between P to Q, you drive at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. That is what it does. Okay, and immediately returns from Q to P through the same route, okay, at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour. The average speed for the round trip journey is, okay, now let's do that. So when motorist travels from P to Q, the velocity, okay, the velocity V was 80 kilometer per hour, okay, and the distance is constant simply because it travels through the same route, okay, which means 80, which is speed, is equal to the distance, which is constant, over time, right? And then again, when it comes back, the average speed was given as 50 kilometers per hour. So when V is 50 kilometers per hour, we are having 50 is equal to D, and this is also the same, okay, divided by this one is T, let's call it T2, and this is T1, okay. Only the time is changing and the velocity, the distance, which is P to Q, same as Q to P, okay, so it is not changing. Now they say the average speed for the round trip is, now what is average speed? Average speed is simply equal to total distance divided by total time, okay. So average speed is equal to total distance, okay, total distance divided by total time, okay. So average speed is equal to, what is total distance? Okay, the total distance remains the same, so you have D and D, that will be D plus D, that will give you 2D, okay, divided by, what is total time? T1 plus T2, T1 plus T2. Now let's make use making some substitutions. So from here, T1 is D over 80, and from this second one, we're going to get T2 is D over 50, okay. So if we substitute in, we're going to get average velocity is equal to 2D divided by T1 plus T2, that's D over 80 plus D over 50. So we have D over 80 plus D over 50. Okay, let's do the math. So we're going to get 2D divided by, now D over 80 divided by D over 50 can be written as D in brackets 1 over 80 plus 1 over 50. Okay, here's the trick. D cancels out D. So I left it 2 divided by 1 over 80 plus 1 over 50. So I'm going to get 2 divided by 1 over 80 plus 1 over 50. That's going to give us an answer of 61.54 approximately. Okay, so we have 61.54 kilometers per hour approximately. Now that is how problems like this are being tackled. Problems on ratio rates and proportion. We succeeded in explaining and solving problems, about 14 problems so far. Now to get this thing fully, what you might want to do is solve more problems on it. There's no trick to it. All you have to do is solve more problems and questions on these things. Okay, now in our next video we'll be discussing some more aspects. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to click on the notification bell so that when new videos have been uploaded, you'll be one of the first persons that will get notified about it. Okay, and to do that, you have to subscribe. Okay, so subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the video with your friends so that they can as well learn from this thing. So if you have a question, put it in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye.